Hello friends, welcome back. As promised in my last video, today I am going to discuss how you can plan your macros. So let's begin with the first macro, that is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates or carbs is the preferred source of energy and most easily digestible macro. It is the fuel for the brain and also the central nervous system. There are two types of carbs, simple and complex. The simple carbs are mostly sugars, that includes your fructose, sucrose, lactose, maltose, and complex carbs are starches and fibers. A average person needs around 50 to 70% of your calories from carbs depending on your age group. Primarily from complex carbs. So the common sources of complex carbs include sweet potatoes, brown rice, oatmeal, etc. So when we talk about carbs, one important component of carbs is fiber. Now fiber is found in plants, fruits, leaves, grains, nuts, seeds and legumes. It is not an energy source and your body can't digest it. But it helps to promote functions like absorption of sugars into the bloodstream. It also helps in digestion. A person requires around 20 to 30 grams of fiber per day. Just to give you an example, 100 grams of brown rice contains 23 grams of carbs, whereas a 33 ml can of Coke will contain 37 grams of carbohydrates. So you see how easy it is to exceed your carbohydrate limit in a day. Since our diet is predominantly carbohydrate based, we tend to ignore the other macros. Having said that, let's move on to the second macro, which is protein. Now this protein is the most important structural material. It is found in your muscles, in your bones, enzymes, hormones, and also your cell membranes. This is one macro that gained a lot of popularity during COVID. Everybody needs protein. Here on your screen, you can see the recommended daily allowance of protein age-wise for men and women. It is very easy to fulfill your protein goal for the day by eating normal food. Just to give you an example, 2 boiled eggs contains 12 grams of protein. 100 gram of chicken contains 29 gram of protein. 1 whole mackerel contains around 18 grams of protein. When it comes to vegetarians, there are limited sources of protein. Common sources, vegetarian sources of protein are paneer, tofu, soya bean, chia seeds, and nut butters. So now we come to the third macro, which is fat. Fat is the most energy rich food source and it is essential for body functions. Body uses fatty acids to build cell membranes, perform vital functions in the brain, eyes and lungs. Also we know the vitamins A, D, E and K are fat soluble vitamins. That is, your body needs fat in order to absorb those vitamins in the body. The required dietary allowance for fat in a day is around 15% to 30%. So 15% to 30% of your calories should come from fat. If you categorize fats broadly, we have three types of fats: saturated, unsaturated, and trans fat. Now, this trans fat is a very bad fat and it should be avoided by all means. So, you must have seen nowadays, like once people came to know about the ill effects of this trans fat, you'll see many products nowadays in the market which have a tag which says trans fat free or 0% trans fat. That's because now everybody knows that trans fat is bad and it should be avoided at all costs. Then comes the other two type of fats: saturated and unsaturated. This unsaturated fat is what you should aim for. This is a healthy fat. You can get unsaturated fat from peanut butter, from nuts like almonds, flax seeds, or pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, avocados, fatty fish. So all these are sources of unsaturated fat. Whereas saturated fat is the fat found in sources like butter, ghee, bacon, cheese. So the required dietary allowance or the limit of saturated fat for men, it is not more than 30 grams of saturated fat in a day, whereas for women it is not more than 20 grams of saturated fat in a day. So let me give you a simple formula, something that you can remember, something that doesn't require a scale. All it requires is your own hand. So whenever you plan a meal, whenever you are eating a meal, the protein portion in that meal, it should be around the size of your palm, whereas the vegetable portion, it should be the size of your fist. And your cupped hand is the amount of carb that should be there in your meal. And for fat, you can use the size of your thumb. So for men it is both the hands, and for women it is a single hand. So when you use these guidelines, your ideal plate of food or ideal meal will look somewhat like this. So when you look at this and when you look at the kind of food that we eat, it is completely opposite. Our plates are generally filled with lots and lots of carbs, maybe a little bit of protein, and negligible amount of veggies, which is far from ideal. I hope you like this video, and to watch more such informative videos, do like and subscribe to my channel, and please share the link with your family and friends. Until we meet again, stay healthy, stay fit.